This is Cashing Out on VSiN, the sports betting network.
All right, let's have some fun. It's time for Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo, taking you through your Wednesday night right into Thursday morning here on the program. I know, a little unrecognizable. Haircut, first time since Thanksgiving. You were thinking it. I'm just addressing it off the top of the show. We did get a haircut. We've got a trip to Italy over the summer. Need it perfect length. Figured now is the time to fire on the cut. We getting the other camera angle going here? Just a little. So yeah, no, we can run that camera angle again. I think they tapered up to, up to the ear a little bit. A little lower in the back. Not Flo Ceraulo anymore, but it'll grow back quick. We'll get Dustin Sweetelson's opinion on it soon enough. I know Dustin spends more time. Wow, that was quite the zoom in, Isaiah. Shout out to Isaiah in the back operating the cameras to make sure that I look my worst. It's Isaiah's life goal to make me look bad. So maybe we'll get Dustin Sweetelson on an impromptu guest edition later on in the program. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you. You having fun back there, buddy? Want me to take you out for ice cream later, buddy? Unreal. Maybe we'll get Dustin Sweetelson on to comment on the hair later. I know Dustin and Patrick have been talking about his hair a lot lately on VSiN Live on Mad Dog Radio, the show that those two do a tremendous job with. So we've got a packed guest list. Maybe Dustin can be added to it. We'll see if Jared Moore, our incredible producer, who's back with us, back in the saddle after about a week and a half on VSiN by the books. We'll see what Jared can put together. But how about that guest list, huh? Tanner Kern, our buddy, content creator from over at DraftKings Sportsbook, joining us in hour one. Josh Fisher, the creator of the Charity Stripe does that say Charity Strip? That definitely says Strip. Creator of the Charity Stripe podcast, founder Stripe Sports, and of course you can hear him on ESPN Austin Weekly. And then Wes Reynolds, VSiN's own terrific handicapper. Going to break down some college hoops, Final Four action, the golf this weekend. I say the golf because I don't know what the golf tournament is, but lucky for you, that's why I'm not the one handicapping it. Wes going to give out his winners. Wes's winners on a Wednesday. Doesn't get better than that right here on Cashing Out. How about some live action right now? Only one game going on the Diamond. It's the Dodgers. It's the Braves at Chavez Ravine. LA down 5-3. Guy on, one out, bottom 8. Certainly wouldn't hurt if the Dodgers put up, a 5 spot here in the bottom of the 8th, considering we got on them laying a run and a half. And the defense had other plans. Unbelievable. Second day in a row, we're going to get burned by unearned runs. It was Arizona and the Yanks yesterday. Corbin Burns over 15.5 outs. D-backs first 5. Meanwhile, Arizona wins the game. And the first 5 doesn't get there because of some unearned runs. Burns doesn't get over 15.5 outs because he has to throw about 40 pitches in a 4th inning where 2 errors are committed behind him. So that screws us out of 2 tickets yesterday. Today we lay a run and a half with the 7-0 Dodgers against the 0-6 Braves. Blake Snell on the bump for the Dodgers. Bryce Elder for Atlanta. And 5 unearned runs for the Braves in the opening 2-3 frames in this one. It was all early. Atlanta's had nothing going late. Really not much offensively. 8 hits, sure, but 5 unearned runs for the Braves against Blake Snell in the opening 2 frames. Elder only went 4, allowed 3. It was the way we drew it up. But the Dodgers defense, terrible. Max Muncy, 2 errors. Tommy Edman, an error of his own. Absolutely terrible defense from the reigning world champs, who they're showing a graphic right now, have 5 come from behind wins already this year to lead baseball. 5 of their 7. Believe they led the MLB last year as well and come from behind wins. Let's see if they got another one in them. Let's pull up some live odds on this one as the Braves go to their closer in the 8th. Raisel Iglesias in for Atlanta. Try to secure the Braves' first win of the year. Look, I know the Dodgers are tough. They're a tough opponent. But for Atlanta, starting the year in San Diego and LA, it's not exactly a cupcake city to start your season, but you'd think the Braves would be a little better than 0-6 to start the year. Atlanta up 5-3. Iglesias deals to Will Smith, the catcher. Guy on first, 1 out, 3-0 count to Smith here. Dodgers money line, plus 280. Braves minus 390. Braves run line, minus 1.5 is minus 45 cents. Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 25 cents. Oh, that just became the favorite. I'm assuming Smith got on. 3-1 count. Probably a walk here. Yep, ball 4. First and second, 1 out, bottom 8 for the Dodgers. Tommy Edman, 2 for 2 on the night with a couple of RBIs. He is stepping in for LA. Edman, 2 for 2. He had a 2-run homer in the bottom of the second. Michael Conforto followed up with a solo shot. Edman's already got 4 home runs. Dude's like half my size. He is not a big guy, but he's already got 4 home runs. I would, actually, one here wouldn't really help. I'd almost rather just keep the line moving. Have guys up with guys on because we need them to win by 2. A home run here would make it 6-5 Dodgers. I don't really need Muncy up with the bases empty. So let's see if Edman can keep the line moving. And nope, grounder to the first baseman, Matt Olson. That'll be a 3 unassisted on your card. And the Dodgers will have second and third with 2 outs. In steps Max Muncy, who is off to a dreadful start to the season, hitting .083. Don't believe he's got a home run yet. I'd almost rather a single maybe tie the game. No homers, no RBI. Hitting .083 to start the year. We'll see what Muncy does. I'm trying to think the best way to angle this. Would a base knock be better? Tie it up? I mean, look, obviously you run the risk of a walk-off, but you could always get a walk-off dinger. If Muncy was to hit a home run here, they'd be up 6-5 with Kike Hernandez up, and then, potentially it's the last guy that the Dodgers send up if they hold on to that 6-5 lead. So I'd almost rather a tie game at this juncture. Could really use a Muncy walk and then a Kike Hernandez grand slam. That would certainly be nice. We'll update the live odds at the next commercial break. And Muncy, my goodness, 93 right down Broadway, underneath it. Looks like he swung right through it. How about Oklahoma City? They're on a hell of a run over in the NBA to start the third quarter. Thunder on a 10-0 run in 2 minutes here to open up the second half. Was 65-59 over Detroit at the break. Now 75-59. They're laying 18.5 live, ROKC, with a 16-point lead and about 21 minutes to go. The Spurs might pull this one out in Denver. A lot of game left. I don't want to jump the gun. But San Antonio, 4 minutes to go, up 6, 105-99. They're 3.5-point favorites. What did Muncy do here? That looks like it's going to be a double. And we've got a tie game in LA, folks. Is that a double? Yeah, wow, he got in there. Not the most fleet of foot guy, Max Muncy, but he gets into second base. Split the right and center fielder. Little gapper. Nice job by the center fielder, Michael Harris. He's terrific. Cutting that ball off, not letting it get to the wall, though I don't think Muncy really is trying for 3 here. All right, folks. We are now in Kike Hernandez home run would put us in a good position territory. That's a long way of saying we need a Kike Hernandez home run here. Tie game, got the Dodgers to win by 2. Could really use Kike to go deep here. Let's update that live line. How about it? The Dodgers are going to be big favorites now. Minus 230 on the money line. Wow. They were just what? Plus 280? I said it a few seconds ago. Atlanta. Oh, did he get it? Oh, did he get it? Stay fair. Stay fair. Oh, no. Foul ball. Isaiah, I don't want to hear it, man. I just don't want to hear you. We're having fun with the haircut. I don't want to hear you, Isaiah. Freaking Isaiah in the back room trying to hijack the show. Where's Alexis? Shouldn't you be home by now, Isaiah? I thought Kike got that. Oh, man, that was foul by about 10 feet. Unreal. I would have been too lucky if he got that. I might have walked out of the show and gone to the craps table, test my luck over there if he hit that home run. Down 5-0. Too good to be true. Help me cash out that Dodgers run line. I mean, look, the Braves still have a turn at bat top of the 9th. Yeah, Kike, that's great. Yeah, you go from almost jacking one, and now you're swinging at pitches that are about a foot beneath the strike zone. Way to go, Kike. Dodgers minus 210. Money line, Braves plus $1.60. Spurs holding that 105-99 lead over Denver. Now 320 to go in that one. Take a look at some of the big performers after Jokic turned in a 60-point triple-double in a game where Denver lost last night against Minnesota. Double overtime loss. Most points for a triple-double. NBA history in the losing effort for the Joker. He is, look, you could give him the MVP. I wouldn't say you're wrong. I think it's SGA's year. I think the odds indicate that. I think the straw polls indicate that. But Nikola Jokic is certainly something special. 105-101 now. And did Kike foul that one off? Go foul. No. Come on. Oh, I don't think he caught that. Is that a catch? It looked like the ball went out of the catcher's mitt into the net. And then he grabbed it again. I don't know. I think once that ball touches the net, I think it's a dead ball, foul ball. That was bizarre. Popped in his mitt, out of his mitt. He used the netting to... No, oh my God. He had it pinned between his chest protector and the net. Crazy. A for effort. Gotta respect the effort. Let's see. Got the music in my ear. We're going to commercial. Kike strikes out. All right. Gonna need a walk-off home run of the 2, 3, or grand slam variety because it is 5-5 going to the 9th in LA. More cashing out with Joe Ceraulo up next.
Welcome back to Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing Out continues with me, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through your Wednesday night here. The Dodgers and Braves in the 9th, knotted up at 5. The money line, LA, minus 65 cents. Braves plus $1.30 to win it. In the final frame of regulation, Jack Dreyer, the lefty, out for a second inning of work for the Dodgers. 26-year-old rookie, and he Rick Ankiel's 193. Sails it over the catcher, over the blue, right to the backstop. Hit the net on a fly. If he Rick Ankiel did, it probably would have been 99, not 93. But full count, working Austin Riley, first hitter here in the top of the 9th. So we'll keep you folks updated as action takes place in this one. San Antonio, it looks like, is going to emerge victorious. They're up 109-101 in Denver. Nuggets on the verge of losing back-to-back nights. San Antonio laying 6 and a hook on the live line. Harrison Barnes, 20 points, 8 boards. Stephon Castle, 13 points, 8 assists, 14 rebounds. If you took a Stephon Castle double-double, you were probably thinking points and assists. But 14 boards, 8 dimes for the rookie. Chris Paul, 17 points, 6 assists in this one. For Denver, no Joker following the valiant effort yesterday, but a lot of double-doubles. A near triple-double. Jalen Pickett, wow. I didn't even realize Pickett was on the Nuggets. This kid was a stud. Saw him at Siena. Franciscan Cup, that's what the game is called every year between Siena and St. Bonaventure. I had no idea. He's played him, 12 minutes a game on average, but 43 games this year for the Nuggets. Jalen Pickett was a heart attack in the upstate New York college hoop scene. He's got a near triple-double. 17, 11 boards, 9 assists. Russ has 30, 11 boards, 6 assists. DeAndre Jordan, 8 points, 17 boards. He gets a double-double, just got his 10th points of the night. Just got another bucket, did Jordan. No Murray, no Gordon, no Porter, no Jokic. Kind of surprising, frankly, that the Nuggets kept it as close as they did in this one. That can't be right. Did they close laying 9.5? That had to be, I'm going to refresh that. It had to be earlier in the day. Yep, I had this window open earlier in the day. I just refreshed it for the first time. Closing line. It opened Denver laying 13 and a hook. When I was on VSiN.com earlier in the day, clearly, Believe that was probably around, 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'm seeing 9.5. I just hit refresh. It closed at 2.5 to 2. Wow. Talk about CLV. If you got in on the Spurs catching a Baker's dozen and a half, huh? Closed 11-point line movement. Weird time of year in the NBA. I mean, every game matters for seeding with these guys. Nuggets certainly don't want to be losing 2 in a row down the stretch here, as they've just gone final 113-106 San Antonio. How about OKC and Detroit? Thunder up 15. A 22-13 edge here in the third quarter, as they were up, 6 at the break. 87-72 right now, live line. OKC favored by 15.5. For Detroit, Hardaway Jr., leading scorer. He's got 23. Dennis Schroeder's got 10. Tobias Harris has 10. No one else really doing much. For OKC, SGA, 22, 6 boards. Holmgren, 18, 7 boards. Jalen Williams, 17 points, 5 boards. Nice balanced scoring attack for the Thunder. 4 of their 5 starters are in double digits. Lou Dort's got 8, so they'll get all 5 starters to double figures. Clippers, Pelicans, second quarter action. LA up 34-24 in the Intuit Dome. They closed, the Clippers did, laying 18 in that one, and they're already up 10. Weird time of year in the NBA. That much is certain. So far through the Clippers, or for the Clippers, I should say, through a quarter and a couple minutes, Kawhi's got 10, Harden's got 10. For New Orleans, a bunch of 2s and 4s. Pelicans really not showing up in this one. My goodness. Not a very recognizable roster either for New Orleans out there in this one. Dodgers Braves headed to the bottom of the 9th. Let's see if we can get a walk-off homer of the 2-run, 3-run, or grand slam variety. It would certainly be very helpful. Andy Pias, the 9-hitter, going to lead us off. And then Shohei and Mookie. Hey, hear me out. If we get Pias on to lead off the inning, can we get a Shohei walk-off 2-run homer? That would be nice. In the words of the Beach Boys, wouldn't it be nice? Folks, are you ready to take your sports betting to the next level? If so, the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com are your secret weapon. Since 2011, they've been building trusted relationships with major sportsbooks and insiders worldwide. They provide daily updates on what the top pro bettors and betting groups are wagering on as well, so you're always ahead of the game, but that's not all. They've just launched a cutting-edge AI betting analyst that provides even more selections and reports, giving you the edge you need to win. Best part, you can check out the Sharp Plays free content anytime. Get real-time betting action reports, alerts, and more through email and Twitter directly from the pros. Plus, explore all their records, including detailed online logs, right on the website at sharpplays.com. With the Sharp Plays, you're joining a team that's never had a losing year. So what do you have to lose? Start today and get access to the best betting insights now at sharpplays.com. Let's pull up some live odds as the Dodgers get ready here. Wow, I'm seeing minus 270 at one shop. What's the money line at DraftKings? 315. So I got minus 260 at one shop, minus 315 at DraftKings. Obviously, with 9-1 and 2, 1 and 2 being Ohtani and Betts due up here, the Bucks have some love for the Dodgers to win this game. My question is, can they win it by 2? Those damn run lines. Well, we got a little bit of luck earlier in the day. Paul Skeens gave out a same-game parlay. Pirates money line and Skeens 6+ strikeouts. Now, I almost did 7 on Skeens because his total was 7.5. And I'm a big fan and a big proponent of same-game parlays if you like the team to win, of taking the starter under by a hook, what his total is, and then parlaying that with the team to win. Instead, I played it a little conservative. Instead of going 7 and the Pirates to win, I went 6. Skeens had none through 2 innings, finished with 6, and the Pirates won. Got there on the same game parlay, didn't get there on the Tigers' first 5. How about this Wednesday MLB recap? Terrific job by our producer, Jared Moore, putting this together. Right on cue. I didn't even know this was going to pop up when I mentioned that game. Pirates beat the Rays, 7 strong from Skeens. Unreal. Ohtani goes deep, first pitch. Boom. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Wouldn't want to be holding a run line. And I should have just laid the 260 and hedged. If only Pajes got on. Unbelievable. The Dodgers improved to 8-0. They were down 5-0 in the second inning. They win the game, and I lose my bet. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Atlanta puts up 5 in the first 2 frames, all unearned. If you told me Blake Snell started, the Dodgers score 6 runs, I tell you we cashed out our ticket. Did I see that right? Is that only Ohtani's second career walk-off home run? That'd be crazy. I guess they weren't winning a lot of games in Anaheim. Unreal. Just couldn't get Pajes on base, huh? And by the way, Iglesias, not a bad pitch. I don't know if that was a sinker or a two-seamer, but that thing was bleeding away from Ohtani, and he just took it to left center field. Moonshot. Cleared the fence by about, didn't even get into the first row. How about that? Game, Dodgers 6, Braves 5. Dodgers 8-0, Braves 0-7. Can't make it up. LA's off tomorrow. They're going to Philly for the weekend. See if they can keep the winning ways up. It's going to be Yamamoto versus the lefty, Jesus Luzardo, Friday night in Philly. How about that MLB recap? Let's get back to that because Jared put that together. That was outstanding. Paul Skeens looked great. He's 2-1 to win the NL Cy Young. Still don't know if I can get there on that. I'm on Zach Wheeler, who also looked great in a win for Philly today. Wheeler, 1-0 on the season now with a 1.38. Padres, 7. How about the NL West? The Padres are 7-0. San Francisco with a win at Houston is 5-1. The Dodgers are 8-0. Padres beat Cleveland 5-2, excuse me. They are now 15-1, shorter than they've been. They were 25-1, I want to say, preseason to win the National League. Brewers take the series against KC. Man, Cole Reagan's shoved for the Royals, but Milwaukee worked his pitch count in, I believe, the 5th inning. Got to extras. Brewers win at 3-2-11. Brewers 3-1 to win the NL Central. They're 2-4 on the season now after taking 2 out of 3 from KC following the opening weekend sweep in the Bronx. How about the AL Central? 5 teams. You mentioned Cleveland right there, losing to San Diego. All 5 AL Central teams, 2-4. That is a bad division. They got 3 playoff teams last year. That is a bad division. You know who's not too bad? Tanner Kern, our buddy from DraftKings Sportsbook, joining us next with some Final Four and MLB best bets right here. It's Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo.
Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing Out continues with me, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through the late hours of your Wednesday night into Thursday morning here on the program. Going to be joined momentarily by our friend from DraftKings Sportsbook, Tanner Kern, to break down the upcoming Final Four, as well as Thursday's MLB slate. Going to be a much lighter slate. I would say the first light slate of the season coming up our direction, because Monday we had a rarity. We had 14 MLB games on a Monday this week. Now looking at just about 5 on Thursday, but still some spots to find some winners. Let's welcome Tanner in to the program to break those down and more now via the Progressive Guest Line. Tanner, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, Joe. How you doing?
I'm great. It's great to have you on. You look at this Thursday slate. I just mentioned it while we were getting you hooked up. It's a little bit of a lighter slate than we've seen in the early goings of the season, but still some notable pitchers on the bump. Are you going to be backing some of these pitchers maybe in some different angles, different ways that you can get behind these high-profile starters?
Yeah, I got some overs, got some unders. The first over that I'm going to be on is the Reds versus Brewers game. Now, Nestor Cortez got obliterated by the Yankees torpedo bats last week, first start of the season. Nestor was right around 92 on the fastball, and he was right around 90, or right around 90 at 92 last season, around 90 against the Yankees. So did see a significant drop there. It's virtually batting practice when you're throwing at that speed, and we saw that with New York. I think the Reds should be able to time him up pretty well in this spot. when he's throwing 90, they really have no choice but to do that. Nick Lodolo is going to pitch for Cincinnati. Had a really strong start to the season against the Texas Rangers, but they're also in the bottom third of the league when it comes to scoring. Lodolo historically is a 4.48 ERA with a 1.28 WHIP, so he's more than hittable here. Milwaukee's offense is in the middle of baseball, so the Reds have to get to Cortez for this one to go over, but for a low total that will likely climb to 8, I do really like that value.
Yeah, how about a Reds team that hasn't scored in like damn near a week, huh? Texas Rangers have gone into Cincinnati, shut them down, a couple of 1-0 games. You hate to use this terminology in betting. It almost feels like the Reds are due for an offensive eruption, and who better to have that against than Nestor Cortez. How about the Astros Twins? Hunter Brown, Joe Ryan, a couple of promising young right-handers. What do you like there?
So I'm going to be in the under of 7.5 runs in this game. When you look at Houston and Minnesota, they've been two of the worst offenses in baseball. Heading into today, I know there were some runs scored, but prior to that, they were both in the bottom 3 of the league for offense. You know, Houston doesn't have Kyle Tucker anymore. You don't have Alex Bregman. It's really showing in their production. You know, I have no doubt that both teams are going to heat up at some point soon, but when you look at the under, I think it's a steal at 7.5. I could see this one dropping to 7. Both pitchers had great starts to the season. Brown gave up 4 hits and struck out 7 in 6 innings against the Mets. And then you look at Joe Ryan, struck out 5 in 5 innings of work against the Cardinals. So he did not surrender a walk in that one as well. Now, Brown's control has been an issue at times. That would be my biggest concern for playing this under. But honestly, I don't necessarily trust the Twins in just delivering with runners in scoring position. So even if we surrender a few walks, I think we're going to be good on this under of 7.5.
Yeah, I like that play a lot there. Hunter Brown, I know, is a popular Cy Young pick, a bit of a long shot on the board, but you look at what he did last season from really Memorial Day on. He was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and I think he's going to settle in nicely, have a great year. Joe Ryan was also phenomenal last year. He went down with an injury after about 21 starts, arguably Minnesota's best pitcher last year before getting hurt. So I like that under a lot. Tanner, let's take it to the Final Four. San Antonio this weekend. I can't wait. We're on, it looks like, the same side of this all SEC matchup, left side of your bracket, Florida-Auburn. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about this one as I am about the Duke versus Houston game. We can talk about that in a minute, but I do like Florida minus 2.5 against Auburn here. The Gators have struggled in the NCAA tournament, but you know, it's not like they're not one of the best 2 teams in the country. They are by far a more talented team than Auburn, even though it's 2 versus 3, or, you know, when you talk about Ken Pom, I still look at the Florida Gators as the better team here. Basically, every time they've struggled in the NCAA tournament so far, it's been because of their own self-inflicted errors. They were -6 in the turnover battle against UConn, shot 64% from the line. They gave Texas Tech 22 points off turnovers, only had 5 themselves. Now, the Gators do turn the ball over, many of which have come at the hands of Walter Clayton Jr., but Walter Clayton Jr. has also helped them climb back into games. That's just how Florida plays. When it's going well, when things are going good, they look great and they play fast. When things are going bad because of their style, they're going to turn the ball over. They're going to make mistakes. It's going to be painful and ugly to watch. That's what you kind of just got to live with this Florida team. But we saw it down the stretch of the season in the SEC tournament. They really found ways to turn it up. And I do think it's going to help them playing an SEC opponent here rather than an out-of-conference team. So the Tigers have to play through Janai Broom. The Florida Gators don't necessarily have to play through Walter Clayton. I think they have a much more talented roster there, a lot more scorers. And don't get me wrong, Auburn's got plenty of scorers on that team. But if they don't play through Janai, they're going to have a really tough time here. So if Florida can find a way to contain him, I think they put themselves in a really good spot to win and cover in this game.
I am right there with you, man. I've been saying this about Auburn throughout the tournament. Their success coming into the tournament, throughout the tournament, seems to go entirely through Janai Broom. And Michigan State, you know, I don't think Auburn really beat Michigan State that game as much as Sparty beat themselves. Janai Broom was sensational. The rest of the Tigers, very pedestrian. I think this Florida team's deeper. I'm right there with you. How about that Duke-Houston game? I think we're on the same side here as well, although I haven't placed this one yet. I'm waiting to try to get that number at 6.
I would like to get it at 6. It's 4.5. It's 5.5. But I'm going to take Houston at whatever number I can get it at for the best price. I do think this one's going to continue to climb up towards 6. So it's probably ideal waiting here. Get a lot of money coming in on Duke, and for all the right reasons. I mean, the Blue Devils are the best team in the country. They look the part, but I do have some fears with them. They haven't been tested in the NCAA tournament, and Houston plays a style of basketball that just does not play well to Duke if this is a tight game. When you look at Kelvin Sampson's team, they play great defense. They have the number 1 defense in the country, according to KenPom. And to beat Duke, you have to play great defense. That's number 1. I think a lot of people thought Alabama was going to give them a game, but the Tide did not shoot the ball well from the field, and defensively, they're not very good. So that was a pretty easy matchup for Duke. But looking at Houston, their defense is going to be a reason they stay in this game. Now, they have to stay on pace and they have to score. But if they do that, they're going to be just fine here because they constrict teams. They play slow. So if they can go on a little bit of a run and potentially get a lead early here, as we saw against Tennessee, that game was over in a couple minutes, and that's the style that they need to play against Duke. My biggest fear with Houston is that 2-point shooting, because it's one of the worst in the country, but great defense and 3-point shooting can actually win a lot of games. So this one kind of has upset alert written on it. I mean, Houston has the ability to do it. They have to play a perfect game because Duke is the best team in the country. But if they play their style of basketball and a few things go their way, I think it's going to be close because of how they play. And then also, Duke has not been tested. So if we get into a game that's close down the stretch, I do believe in Houston.
3-D, baby. A lot of careers have been made from that style of basketball. Any intrigue here on the total? Because while I'm waiting for a better number, I'll take 5.5. I'm trying to get a 6 for Houston to play that. I did jump on the under 136.5 immediately when this one came out. Any interest there?
I do like that. I mean, for Houston to win this game, it probably has to go under. If it goes over, I would imagine Duke's winning. So it kind of pairs up well with that 4.5, 5.5, whatever number you can get it at. Houston's a great defensive team, and I think we're going to see that throughout this game. Duke's a great defensive team as well, and Houston can go on those scoring droughts because they're not great from 2. If they're making their threes, there's definitely a path for this one to go over and Houston to still cover, but definitely less likely. If it goes over, I would say that Duke probably won the game and covered.
Tanner, final 60 seconds or so. You got Florida winning. Do you have them winning the whole thing? And if so, any interest in this most outstanding player award? Walter Clayton sitting there at 4-1.
I like that more than Cooper Flagg right now. You're getting a lot more value. And there's a lot more value on the Florida Gators in general to win the whole thing than Duke. I mean, Duke's even money right now, which is crazy in my mind. They have not been tested. They are the best team in the country. They have 2 tough games to win, so I wouldn't necessarily give it right over to them. And then if you want to go for the Florida Gators, Walter Clayton has been the guy that has kept them alive in this tournament. I mean, running backwards to the 3-point line, the turnaround 3-pointer to get them back in the game, the 3-pointers he made down the stretch, going to turn the ball over a lot too, so you got to be ready for that. But if Florida wins, Walter Clayton is going to be the most outstanding player of the tournament. And if Duke wins, it's going to be Cooper Flagg. But still, I would lean towards the value with the Florida Gators. They're going to have to play better than they've played. I mean, they turned the ball over a little too much for my liking, as I've been saying. But if they can bring it back to what they did down the stretch, they have just as good of a chance to beat Duke as anyone else in this tournament. And if Houston does upset Duke, I really like Florida in that game because of how they play when they are not turning the ball over.
Tanner, as always, man, really appreciate the time. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Tanner Kern, our friend from DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at @TannerKern_. Hey, folks, the tournament might be winding down, but the betting action sure as hell isn't. Major League Baseball is back. Playoffs are around the corner for hoops and hockey. The Masters and Draft are seemingly minutes away. So stay ahead of every opportunity with a VSiN Pro subscription. For just $9.99, you'll get daily best bets from our hosts and terrific guests like Tanner Kern. Exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access on the VSiN Watch app, plus our MLB season betting guide and upcoming Kentucky Derby betting guide too. No matter the sport, VSiN Pro's got you covered. Sign up now, VSiN.com/subscribe. It can be all yours for just $9.99 your first 30 days. More picks, more winners up next. More cashing out with Joe Ceraulo.
Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Yeah, Cashing Out continues with me, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through your Wednesday night here. A couple of NBA games getting ready to wrap up. OKC up a dozen on Detroit, 98-86. The Thunder lead it. They're laying 13.5 as it's 98-88 now, 9 minutes to go. OKC minus 13.5, even odds. Clippers at the half, up 59-47 over New Orleans. They closed unreal, laying 18. So the Pelicans hanging in there. I mean, they were down 10 right pretty much out of the gate. Down 12 at the half. LA live number, 19.5. Wow. Let's see some notable player prop action in the Clippers-Pelicans game. Kawhi Leonard has 18 points. Zubats, 8 points, 7 boards on his way to a double-double. Harden's got 14, 4 assists to go with it. For the Pelicans, Alvarado's got 10. He is the only Pelican in double figures. Messi, the rookie out of, where's he out of again? Baylor, 4 points, 6 boards. So if you had his rebound prop, Yves Messi out of, Baylor. So New Orleans down 12 at the half. OKC up 10 with 9 minutes to go. Those are the two late games winding down here. Other live action on the ice. Chicago leading the Avs 2-0. Third period underway now. What was that pre-flop? Avalanche minus 360. The Blackhawks were plus 285 on the money line. How about that? They're up 2-0. Seattle up 1-0 over Vancouver. They are just about at the halfway mark. 11 minutes to go in the second period there. Seattle on the road plus $1.30. Vancouver minus 55 cents as a home favorite. How about some other live action? Ping pong, anyone, huh? How about table tennis? Michael Morosky, you can get him at 6-1. They're in the third frame set. I don't know what they call it in professional table tennis, but Morosky, he just came down from 6-1 to plus 450, while Marcin Litwiniak is minus $9 on the table tennis circuit. I know that's the hard-hitting stuff that you folks come to cashing out for. Live table tennis odds. Detroit's creeping in here. 7-point game, 102.95. That live number now 10.5. Got as high as I saw was 16.5. Might have been 18.5 actually at one point. So the Pistons certainly look like they're going to be covering some of those lofty live numbers, but they're live in this one. 7.5 to go, down 7. This frisky Pistons team, don't count them out. How about some other NBA action on Wednesday night? Pacers, 119. Hornets, 105. Halliburton, double-double for Indiana in the win there. However, Charlotte, wow, they cover on the hook. Was that everywhere? 14.5? That would be something if the Hornets covered right on the hook. 14.5 at Indiana. Yeah, closed 15. So it opened 14.5, closed 15.5. Hornets got there with the cover despite the 14-point loss. The Wizards beat the Kings outright, 116-111. Washington was a 13.5-point home dog, and they win it outright. 23 points from Poole. DeRozan for Sacramento, 29, 7 boards, 8 dimes. Miami, they go to Boston, where the Heat were catching 10, and they win it outright. Weird things happening in the NBA this time of year, folks. My goodness. Heat 124, Celtics 103. Tyler Hero plays hero, 25 points, 6 boards, 9 dimes. Jaylen Brown, 24 points, 9 boards. The Rockets said, no, we're not letting any weird stuff happen on our court. They beat Utah by damn near 40, 143-105. Şengün, nearly a triple-double, 15 points, 14 boards, 9 assists. Mavericks get there over the Hawks behind a monstrous night from Anthony Davis. Dallas was laying 3.5, so they don't cover with the 2-point win, 120-118. Trae Young, 25 points, 12 dimes in the losing effort. AD, 34 points, 15 boards, 5 blocks in the win. How about the night Stephon Castle had? We touched on that San Antonio-Denver game earlier, 113-106. Spurs with the road win. Castle, 15 points, 15 boards, 9 assists for the rookie. Have yourself a night. Cavs take it to my Knicks. Big fourth quarter from Cleveland. They outscore the Knicks 33-20 in the final frame. win it 124-105. They cover the 10 that they were laying. For the Knicks, Anunoby had 23. Cat, double-double, 25 points, 13 boards. Josh Hart had 19 points. Uncharacteristic game from Hart, where he scores 19 but didn't really do much rebounding or partaking in the dimes. Precious Achiuwa, 13 off the bench. For Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell always seems to have a good night against the Knicks, 27 points. Jarrett Allen, 21 and 8. Evan Mobley didn't really do a whole lot outside. Actually didn't really do a whole lot anyway. 13 points, 4 boards. Light night for Mobley. Darius Garland, 17 points, 6 assists. DeAndre Hunter and Isaac Okoro combined for 27 off the bench. Hunter with 16, Okoro with 11. That Cleveland team is deep. Seems like every night they have 6-7 guys in double figures. They improved to 61 and 15 on the year, 33 and 5 at home. Folks, you want to know where the money is really going? Unlike other sources, here at VSiN, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa is known for taking big bets from the pros, while DraftKings provides more of a broad market perspective, meaning you're getting the real action, not just public money, but the kind of wagers that move lines. See the percentage of bets versus the handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 your first month at vsin.com/subscribe. Let's take it back to the diamond. Busy day out there. And how about the first game that went off? Reds, Rangers, Great American Ballpark. Second day in a row, the Texas Rangers get the best of Cincinnati by a score of 1-0. How about it? Back-to-back days. I mean, that's the worst feeling in the world as a team, to lose back-to-back games 1-0. You couldn't muster up 1 or 2 runs. Terrible. Hunter Green tossed a gem. 7 innings, 8 Ks. Our guy Tony Cotillo came on the program yesterday, gave out over 6.5 at plus money. Tony cashes out with Hunter Green, but he's the losing pitcher. 7 innings of 1-run ball. You should never get a loss. Jack Leiter having a great bounce-back year. 2-0 with a 0.9. How about that day, huh? Leiter, great day, 5 shutout innings, 6 Ks. On the bottom of your screen, you see Rangers plus 50 cents to win the division, plus 750 to win the league. Cubs sweep, I almost said Oakland, the Athletics in the first ever series, and this is why it's funny that I almost said Oakland, in Sacramento. Cubs plus 25 cents to win the NL Central. A's 30-1 to win the AL West after that home opening series. They're 2-5 now on the year? Cardinals catcher Ivan Herrera, how about this? First catcher in team history with a 3-home run game in their 12-5 shellacking of Yusei Kikuchi and the Angels. Cardinals 5-1 to win the Central. What are they on the year now? 4-2. Battle of each team's respective ace in this one. Sonny Gray for the Cardinals. I mean, Gray did not look great. He allowed all the runs. 6 innings, 5 earned. He had 9 strikeouts, so he cleared his K-prop. But Kikuchi, who didn't get the loss, actually looked better than Gray. Kikuchi, 6 innings, 3 earned, 6 strikeouts. Now, he did walk 5. Neither guy looked great, but same amount of innings. Kikuchi, 3 earned, Gray, 5 earned. Ian Anderson gets the loss for the Angels. He came in for the 7th, allowed 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 hits, 1 inning. Terrible. Then Burke allows 4. Absolutely terrible. Reed Detmer's got the final out of that one, out of the pen. Trout went deep first inning, hit his first homer of the year. That was a bomb. Logan O'Hoppe, Long Island kid, goes deep as well, his second of the year. O'Hoppe had 4 RBI. He hit a grand slam in the top of the 7th. So Sonny Gray was through 6 innings of 1-run ball, goes out there to start the 7th, and allows a grand slam. So I guess his day was a lot better than the box score would indicate. 6 innings, 5 earned. He was through 6 at 1 earned. Just didn't get an out in the 7th and allowed O'Hoppe to take him. That gave the Angels the lead. They were up 5-3 at that point. Kikuchi could have gotten himself a win. And then St. Louis, bottom of the 7th. They get 2 back, tie it at 5, and put up a 7 spot in the 8th inning. What an eruption against the Angels' awful bullpen. Mackenzie Gore had a little comeback down to earth spot in Toronto. The Blue Jays are 5-2, folks. I was saying that they needed to sell before the season started. Well, they get the win. Gore goes 5 innings, 5 Ks, under on the hook. His number was 5.5 following that 13K opening day performance. And the Nationals fall to 1-5. Detroit down 7 in Oklahoma City. It was just 4. Thunder hit a 3, 105-98. 5 minutes to go in OKC. Can the Pistons pull off the comeback? More Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo up next.